to have been invited to address you at this, your 48th meeting of the Standing Committee of Caribbean Statisticians. I know in the coming few days you will be hearing a lot about the SCCS, so I might as well adopt this from now. The 36th meeting of the Regional Census Coordinating Committee, as well as the 13th Regional Statistical Research Seminar. I bring you warm greetings and fraternal greetings on behalf of the entire staff of the CARICOM Secretariat. I wish from the onset to thank the government of the Bahamas for the excellent arrangements that have been put in place for these meetings and the warm Bahamian welcome that has been extended to me personally and to all the participants and visiting delegations. We thank you. These meetings, ladies and gentlemen, were preceded by the 31st meeting of the CARICOM Advisory Group on Statistics, which met last week in order to carry forward recommendations to the SCCS for the advancement of the statistical systems across the region through mainly the implementation of the CARICOM Regional Strategy for Development of Statistics and its supporting framework. Ladies and gentlemen, the series of statistical meetings this week bears great significance given that it is the first set of in-person meetings of the SCCS since 2019 due to the COVID. It is also happening in the year that we celebrate 50 years as a Caribbean community, the oldest surviving integration movement in the developing world. Not to go unnoticed is the fact that the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is hosting these meetings in the very year that your nation is celebrating 50 years of independence. The meetings are also being held on the heels of the 50th observance of the Caribbean Statistics Day under the theme, One Voice, One CARICOM, Everyone Counts. It is in this regard that we decided to retain this theme for this SCCS, since it does not only underscores the unity and inclusivity of our Caribbean community, but it also serves as a reminder of the vital importance of statistics in our journey towards sustainable development. The inaugural meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government recognized the need for harmonized statistics for decision-making, which led to the establishment of the SCCS in 1974, 1 year after the Treaty of Chaguaramas was signed to establish the Caribbean community. It therefore means that the SCCS turns 50 next year. In the event you need a refresher, I pause to remind you that the SCCS was established within the framework of the treaty establishing the Caribbean community to, amongst other things, foster increased recognition for the importance of adequate statistical services to the countries of our region, to widen the scope and coverage of statistical data collection, and to improve the quality, comparability, and timeliness of statistics produced. Much has been accomplished since, and much more is left to be done, and the burden now falls on you, the practitioners, to embrace the present and plan the future for enhanced appreciation of the value of statistics to regional development. The CARICOM Secretariat is exploring the feasibility of having the 4th high-level forum on statistics, and perhaps to extend the Caribbean Statistics Day to have a Caribbean Year of Statistics in recognition of the 50 years of the SCCS establishment. In this regard, the Secretariat welcomes suggestions from member states and associate members, and of course from our international development partners. As evident from the past meetings and the current SCCS agenda, significant effort has already been made in the advancement of the CARICOM RSDS. However, there remains a substantial need for future action, resources, and support to develop a robust CARICOM statistical system that comprises the national statistical systems and the regional statistics program, which is being coordinated by the CARICOM Secretariat, to enable the bridging of data gaps and enhancing data quality. As Caribbean Statistics Day turns 15, it is an opportunity for us to highlight our major achievements as a statistical community over the years. As we deliberate in the coming days, I urge you to maintain focus on the progress made so far. Through your own efforts and those who preceded you in the statistics profession in the Caribbean, a solid foundation has been built. I want therefore to take some time to remind you of the foundation upon which your current and future work is built. The 39th meeting of the Heads of Government of CARICOM in July 2018 endorsed the CARICOM Regional Strategy for the Development of Statistics, the RSDS, that culminated several years of effort from heads of statistical offices, past and present, along with the staff, and to strengthen and improve the availability of statistics for evidence-based decision-making. The CARICOM RSDS is anchored in the theme Building Resilience of the Caribbean Community. International development partners and countries have contributed to the implementation of the RSDS, such as the European Union through the 11th EDF, the Inter-American Development Bank, the Regional Public Goods Facility, the Government of Italy, and others. The endorsement of the CARICOM Action Plan on Statistics at the 37th meeting of Heads of Government of CARICOM in July 2016. This action plan on statistics was a precursor to the RSDS and was a response to the 230 plus indicators of the Sustainable Development Goals framework that countries, including those of CARICOM, had to produce. These elements of the action plan have been incorporated into the CARICOM RSDS. The harmonization of approaches and standards in data production and dissemination through the implementation of the Regional Statistical Work Program, which was developed by the SCCS and approved by the 15th meeting of the Community Council of CARICOM in 2005. There's also been the hosting of high-level statistical meetings in Trinidad and Tobago in 2009, in Grenada 2014, and in Grenada again in 2019. And these have been led by current and past leaders of the community. And of special mention is the former Prime Minister of Grenada, who held the CARICOM quasi-cabinet responsibility for science and technology, the Honorable Keith Mitchell. There has also been the completion of 3 out of 4 supporting frameworks, which heads agreed should be developed following the endorsement of the CARICOM RSDS, namely the implementation plan, a resource mobilization plan, and the communication and advocacy strategy. You've also worked on the completion of the framework, which is monitoring and evaluation, the monitoring and evaluation framework. There's also been the identification of core indicators of the CARICOM specific Millennium Development Goals, more recently captured in the SDGs, and several regional training workshops and national technical assistance programs have been conducted in supporting countries to produce these indicators. the instituting of a CARICOM regional approach to census taking through the implementation of the regional census strategy, the regional census coordinating committee, and the development of a number of regional public goods to benefit our member states in CARICOM. Through your efforts, we've also developed and implemented an implementation of the CARICOM Code of Statistical Practice, which you have referred to as the CGSP, and the implementation of 4 rounds of self-assessment questionnaires in member states and associate members of CARICOM. There's been the development of the CARICOM Quality Assurance Framework, the development of the CARICOM Model Statistics Bill, the development and implementation of the National Strategies for Development of Statistics, the development of the CAPS, which is the Caribbean Association of Professional Statisticians, as well as the development of electronic CARICOM Institute for Statistics Training and Research to ensure sustainability, capacity building in statistics. Through the efforts of those of you gathered in this room and your predecessors, we've developed a central repository at the CARICOM Secretariat, making it possible to extract data and to generate reports for dissemination and reporting. You have done tremendous work. You have established centers of excellence to enable South-South cooperation and a permanent attachment program. You have established the technical working groups and advisory group on statistics. We have held annual observances of Caribbean Statistics Day on the 15th of October each year, which has motivated the United Nations Statistical Commission to establish the World Statistics Day, which is celebrated every 5 years. And ladies and gentlemen, through your efforts, there is also the hosting of the Regional Statistics Research Seminar, which is a mechanism to encourage statistical methods and application and to provide a platform for statisticians, particularly young statisticians and other stakeholders, to present research findings, methodologies, and reviews to inform on issues that can aid in the development of statistics in the Caribbean. And finally, you've also increased collaboration with international development partners on areas of statistics critical to the region, including trade statistics, economics, food security, gender, agriculture, tourism, poverty, sustainable development, climate change, and the environment, crime and security, a particular scourge in the Caribbean today, youth, education, literacy, and ICT. Your list of accomplishments is long. And we must acknowledge the sterling contribution of the former director of regional statistics, Dr. Philomen Harrison, who I'm sure many of you in this room are very, very familiar with and know very well, as well as the present director, who has provided sterling leadership to the development of statistics in the Caribbean. So much has been accomplished, but there still is a lot to be done. I therefore urge you, as you use the achievements of the past to inspire and motivate future action towards the solid results that we all desire. The theme, One Voice, One CARICOM, Everyone Counts, represents the unity, solidarity, and inclusivity within the Caribbean community, emphasizing that every country's and every individual's contribution and well-being matter in collective pursuits of regional development. Ladies and gentlemen, the SCCS exudes this theme as it embodies the very essence of CARICOM. It is a statement of our commitment to work as a collective entity, to pool and strengthen our resources to tackle our shared challenges and concerns. In light of the theme in statistics, It is important that everyone counts. This theme speaks to the importance of leaving no one behind in our quest for progress and for prosperity, especially as we continue to conduct our census enumeration, which I gather has been a particular challenge since the advent of the COVID pandemic. One of the main focuses of this series of meetings this week is the meeting on the Regional Census Coordinating Committee, where great attention will be given to the report on the conduct of the 2020 round of population and housing census in the region and on supporting member states with the census enumeration, post-enumeration activities, especially given the overwhelming issues that national statistical offices have been faced since the COVID pandemic. Many of your countries persist with enumeration of the 2020 round amidst grave challenges. Thus, the census is taking longer than anticipated. With our combined efforts, however, as a region, and the collective sharing of experiences and lessons, I'm confident that we can find ways to turn this situation around and have some appreciable results. It is critical that this most important activity is completed in reasonable time, given the importance of the results on national sustainable development, building resilience and the development of a robust and integrated statistical system. The Caribbean cannot afford to do without updated census information. The information produced by the census is also critical to informing policies, and we should spare no effort in completing this necessary exercise despite the challenges. CARICOM member states must be commended for their commitment to undertaking the National Population and Housing Census, and the effort of your national statistics offices is not unnoticed. By convening this week, we are signaling our commitment to maintain momentum for the implementation of the CARICOM Regional Strategy for Development of Statistics. Furthermore, this meeting provides a platform for our member states and associate members to report on progress and to reflect on challenges. And I urge you to treat this issue with the seriousness that it deserves. I extend my profound gratitude to our international development partners who have stood with us through the years. Your support has been invaluable in building our statistical infrastructure, enhancing our data production, and improving our capacity to deliver accurate and timely information. I want to specifically thank the European Union for the support that makes this week possible. Under the 11th EDF, we have minted a relationship that can only augur well for the future. Commendation must therefore be given to the government of the Bahamas for embracing this opportunity and so graciously volunteering to host these meetings. Again, on behalf of all of us at the Secretariat, I thank the government and people of the Bahamas. I must mention the outstanding contribution of the former Prime Minister of Grenada, the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, as a regional champion for statistics, to acknowledge and thank the current Prime Minister, Dickon Mitchell of Grenada, for equally championing statistics through his CARICOM quasi-cabinet responsibility for science and technology. From his message, which I'm sure you will hear at some point during the week, we can tell that we have another high-level champion for statistics, who will play his part in advancing greater appreciation for statistics in our region. It always helps when our leaders, our prime ministers, our presidents in the Caribbean show a commitment to the practical nature of the work that is done to develop our people. And in conclusion, I extend my warmest appreciation to each one of you for your commitment to the cause of statistics and the development of our Caribbean community. As we embark on the discussions and deliberations in the coming days, I invite you to engage in constructive dialogue. Build on the strong foundation that has been laid, and let us continue to collaborate and ensure we build statistical systems that are resilient, robust, responsive, and aligned to the evolving needs of the people of our region. I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and do have yourselves a very successful week of deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Armstrong, for sharing with us the vision for statistics development in the region. And now we will invite the Royal Bahamas Defense Force Band, which was established in 1984, with its first international performance at the Overtown Mall, Miami, Florida in 1994. Its first international performance at, its drumline, the first of its kind in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, which debuted at the annual Independence Speech Retreat in 1999. The first official concert was held on the 23rd of March 2007, and the first Defense Force Choir concert was held on the 25th of February 2011. And the rest, they say for them, is history. And so, ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Defense Force Chief Petty Officer Matthew C. Rowe I, we invited the Bahamas Defense Force Band to share their music with us.
Thank you very much.
Ms. Fraser is an economist by training and brings with her an extensive experience in socio-economic analysis, policy, and planning. She has built a career in institutional strengthening and organizational capacity development, including corporate communications. She's the founding principal and managing director of the Vivian Group. Let us welcome to the podium Ms. Gabriela Fraser, who will bring you remarks and then
Good morning, everyone. Standing on established protocol, Chief Petty Officer and your band, fabulous. We certainly heard it from earlier remarks when we talk about the gaps in data. We certainly get a full appreciation for the importance of the strengthening of our institutions, the strengthening of the collaboration between our institutions, so that all of us as agencies, when we think of the critical importance of who we are and what we do as drivers of ensuring that there is evidence-based policy development within our countries, within our region. So certainly all of the remarks that have come before underscore all of these critical things and why we are here today. And as our Deputy Director Turnquest has indicated, this is a first as the Bahamas National Statistical Institute. It is not only a pleasure for us to be able to host these meetings, but it was certainly very important for us to be able to do this being the very first in-person meeting since 2019. So we are certainly delighted to be here, and it's a pleasure for me to be able to bring greetings to you on behalf of the Board of Directors of the BNSI. We are, and to everyone, our warmest welcome. I know that you've been hearing that since you got here, and you will continue to hear it because we are truly delighted to have you. Also the Bar of the Bahamas in 2006, he's an attorney at law, and also a 19-year veteran in our illustrious tourism. His record of public service includes service as the Deputy Director of the Gaming Board Commission of the Bahamas from 2012 to 2015, and from 2015 to 2020 with portfolio responsibilities that include the National Insurance Board, the National Emergency Management Agency, the National Reconstruction Agency, the Bahamas, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, and the Bahamas Information Services. He has roots in our beautiful Crooked Island, and he and his wife are parents of 5 and grandparents of 9. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, the Honorable Miles Noroga.
Good morning. Please be seated. I stand on the established protocol. I'd like to acknowledge my parliamentary colleague, Wade Watson, the Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Alexis. In my speech, they had you as Alexis Armstrong. The Financial Secretary, Samuel Wilson, in his absence. Permanent Secretaries, heads of departments, Ms. Gabriela Fraser, and our international partners. As a proud father of Woman Marine, Tori LaRoda, I'd like to acknowledge the Defense Force and the officer, my confrère, William Delvo. They come in for the police. It is a pleasure for me to be here at another CARICOM function. I just returned from Guyana for the water and waste water treatment in Bridgetown. And if there's any representative here from Guyana, please convey my regards to Minister Kroll and Rodriguez for their hospitality that was given down in Guyana. When I first came here and said statistics, I did not expect humor to be in the room. And so I was pleasantly surprised, because we have those of us who are not smart enough to do natural science and have to do social science where you argue both ways. I was somewhat intimidated, but the lightning of the mood early on kind of settled me down. My only claim to fame of statistics, those of you who went to COB back in the day, was Susan Plumridge, of which I did 3 levels, and I remember nothing of what I learned. And so exams is not the best way to measure knowledge. Again, I'm delighted to join with you for this opening ceremony of the 48th Standing Committee of Caribbean Statistics, SCCS, the 36th Regional Census Coordinating Committee, and 16th Regional Statistical Research Seminar. On behalf of the Government of the Bahamas, I would like to welcome you to the Bahamas, particularly since I understand that this will be the first face-to-face meeting since the Corona-19 pandemic. I imagine that you're all happy to gather once again. You have come to the best place on this special occasion. Interestingly, the Caribbean Community and Common Market was founded 50 years ago, the same year the Commonwealth of the Bahamas gained its independence. 1 year later, CARICOM was founded. In 1974, the Standing Committee of Caribbean Statistics was established to foster increased recognition of the importance of adequate statistical services to the countries of the region, to widen the scope and coverage of statistical data collection, and to improve the quality or comparability and timeliness of statistics produced. Your theme this year, One Voice, One CARICOM, Everyone Counts, is so fitting as it speaks to and enforces the CARICOM policy and mission to leave no one behind. Over the past 50 years, much has been accomplished in the area of statistics, yet there is much more to be completed as the world changes and new challenges arise. Challenges in environmental, gender, crime, and food security have created a demand for data in these areas so that governments and businesses can make more informed decisions and develop policies. The Government of the Bahamas recognizes the need to modernize and strengthen the existing statistical system to meet the increasing demand for data for informed decision-making, the 2030 Agenda, and other international and regional requirements. As a result, in February 2016, the Ministry of Finance, in collaboration with the Inter-American Bank, through a loan for $33 billion, undertook the Public Financial Management and Performance Monitoring Reform Project, with an overall objective of strengthening the capacity of the government to allocate, manage, and monitor resources. More specifically, the project hopes to, 1, improve public financial management and public procurement for more efficient use of public resources. And 2, enhance the Bahamas' capacity to monitor the progress and implementation of key government priorities. 4 components with specific goals and deliverables were developed to achieve the objectives mentioned above. And they are component 1, performance monitoring, to strengthen management capacity of public sector to monitor priority projects and programs more efficiently and effectively.
Police force, and all of you are invited to attend the cocktail reception on November 1st, where we'll have them play. No competition. the Ministry of Foreign Affairs Protocol Department, Ms. Ida Mae Ferguson, Ministry of Tourism, but thank you for providing that assistance to our officers to be able to greet our delegates as they arrive. To Sandos Resort for providing these splendid facilities to which we are able to host these events. Superior Production, who has the huge task of making sure that these events are properly recorded. To DigiPrint for printing the invitations, banner, delegate handbook, and the program. CIU, IEB, Harrison Bus Service, who have the critical role of making sure that our delegates are transported to and from their accommodations to the hotel. Hertz Car Rental, Avis Car Rental, Beyond Flags, that provided the desk flags in our room next door, and of course the flagpoles that our nation flags are on display. Beautiful job. Bahamas Cake Factory, Baltimore Candy, Grey Cliff, Port International, Classy Chef, Nassau Paper Company, High Performance Trucking Company Limited, who assisted with the transportation of some items, to our delegates. And stand for us, delegates, so we can all see. Don't be shy, delegates. Stand for us. We want to say thank you. You may be seated. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. From the length and breadth of our Commonwealth, thank you for being here. Our international partners, thank you. My BNSI colleagues, wherever you are in the room. And ladies and gentlemen, we were also able to have our colleagues from our Freeport office, who is also here with us. So colleagues, thank you. You may be seated. No man is an island, and what you see here is the collective effort of my colleagues. I can say to you, being part of the planning committee, among us we brought all our talents to bear. Among us there were some stirring negotiators, graphic artists, event planners. All the talents and time came to bear, and I say thank you. So without further ado, this is to conclude our program for this morning. We do have a light refreshment outside. Please mingle, network, and get to meet someone that you did not know before. I think we tend to cling to those who we know. Colleagues, BNSI, let's show our delegates a warm welcome. Thank you.